This is CBS on Paramount Plus.
The riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Yellow and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, the show in which we pick a song or album, listen to it for an entire week straight, and then come back here and tell you, the fine listener, if we hate it, and of course, why. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, the fire in my disco to the fire in your Taco Bell, co-host extraordinaire, Timothy Richardson. Taco Bell fire, how are you doing?
Pretty bad.
Okay, what's wrong?
Well, Garrett, I've been having constant headaches and I'm pretty nauseous.
That's interesting. Say more.
To set the mood for this week, I have lit a whole bunch of candles around the house, and I made a makeshift fireplace, which has been denigrated by our landlord as a illegal fire barrel. To make a long story short, the interns and I are suffering from carbon monoxide poisoning, I guess is how I'm doing.
And you tell me, I might be mistaken, but is that a hint of burnt tire I'm picking up here in the apartment?
Oh, yes, I filled it mostly with rubber.
Yeah.
Some
sure
trash.
did. Yeah.
I don't want to say there's no trash in there.
Sure.
I've been burning our trash.
Great.
Some of your shoes, but the older ones.
Okay, we'll figure out how much trouble you're in later. Tim, when not filling the apartment in a thick, black, dare I say, viscous smoke, what song have you been listening to for an entire week straight?
I have been listening to Eagle-Eyed Cherry's 1997 one-hit wondery single, Save Tonight, a song that really goes well with a real fireplace and really goes poorly with a illegal fire barrel.
I would argue anything would go poorly with that.
Oh, God.
At least
Garrett,
to open a window.
My globus pallidices they hurt. They feel necrotic, at least hemorrhagic.
I guess we'll Google that later. And Tim, after an entire week with the sultry, seductive, Eagle-Eyed Cherry and their single, Save Tonight, I'm super curious. Do you hate this song?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
But no, I don't think so. What about you? Do you hate this?
Unfortunately, no.
Do you hate what I have done inside of the apartment to set the mood for this?
Yeah. If the mood was apocalypse street fight, it's great. If it's meant to be the ambiance created by the hit single Save Tonight, you've missed horribly.
Because of the trash and tire rubber.
The choking black smoke, Tim. It's the choking black smoke.
Yeah.
Tom, quit putting new tires in. Why would you do that? I swear to God, you two fight like cats and dogs, but every time I turn around, he's doing your bidding.
In his defense, that man knows an illegal fire barrel.
Then he should know not to do it inside.
He knows how to tend an illegal fire barrel.
Doesn't mean he should. I assume we can't open a window for risk of some sort of backdraft situation, so it's our cross to bear. And at this point, no, don't pour water on it. Who knows how much oil's in that trash can?
Not none.
Right.
I'm going to admit something, Garrett. I did get it started with gasoline. And honestly, it took me a while to get gas. There's not a lot of gas stations in this goddamn island.
Yeah, they are few and far between. Almost like they know you won't be driving.
But so many people are constantly driving.
It's a good point. Come to think of it, I have never gotten gas on the island of Manhattan.
Yeah.
Remember that time I drove the wrong way on an off-ramp?
Oh, yeah. We're going to see Beck at Jones Beach.
Yeah. Beck and Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
And
played with Sean Lennon, I think.
Sean Lennon. Arguably, Sean Lennon played and Wilco was the backing band.
That's true.
And then Beck came out, and they all sang together, and we were real confused.
Mm-hmm. And then Bob Dylan came out. Yeah.
That was really sad and disappointing. You don't hate it, I don't hate it. We're certainly going to say quite a bit about why we do or don't in a moment. But before we do, I'm very curious, Tim, what's your history with this song? Did you grow up with this, or were you not in country for it?
This is one of those songs that if you ask me cold if I knew it or had ever heard of it or had ever heard of an Eagle-Eyed Cherry, I would probably say that I have a vague recollection maybe in high school on 94.5 The Buzz in Houston, but I could not have told you any more than that. After giving it 12 seconds to play, I, of course, know this song, Garrett. Everybody knows this song. I have heard this song multiple times per day for at least 4 years. This song has wormed its way into my brain, and I couldn't have told you this was Eagle-Eyed Cherry. I couldn't have told you Eagle-Eyed Cherry was a guy.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
No, first time with it. Really eye-opening week. In fact, it was far more robust than I was really anticipating. I have follow-up questions, but to put it succinctly, Tim, at the start of the week, I knew every word.
Yep.
It's bizarre. I'm not sure I could have told you it was Eagle-Eyed Cherry. In fact, when you suggested the song, we'll get into why that is in a moment, I was pretty sure we'd already done Eagle-Eyed Cherry and it wasn't saved tonight, but you informed me I was mistaken, luckily.
Oh, let me put a pin in that.
Wait, did we do it twice?
Maybe. Listener, find the previous episode that we did Eagle-Eyed Cherry.
Tim, regardless, we're going to talk about it again, but before we do, I want to understand a little bit about this band/gentleman and, of course, this song. So take me on a journey, help you understand, elucidate the listener. Who is Eagle-Eyed Cherry and how did Save Tonight come to be?
Well, Garrett, Eagle-Eyed Cherry's real name is Eagle-Eye Lanu Cherry. That's cool.
His name is Eagle-Eye? We're going to have to fact check that.
Garrett, Eagle-Eye was born in 1968 in Stockholm, Sweden, home of the Sverigetopplistan, to Swedish painter Monica Cherry and American jazz musician Don Cherry. His dad, Don Cherry, was half black and half Choctaw, presumably where the eagle eye comes from. He played jazz all over the US, Europe, India, Morocco, and South Africa before settling in Sweden. Don played trumpet and some other instruments for the 1970 LP Songs of Innocence and Experience, which was a musical adaptation of William Blake's poetry collection of the same name, sung by Allen Ginsberg. A project Allen Ginsberg was inspired to do after he had a religious vision of William Blake decades earlier and then witnessed the 1968 Democratic National Convention protest. What is that and how soon can we get it on the schedule, Garrett?
That was a confounding combination of words. I am deeply upset by all of that. At the same time, I want to hear it, but I'm going to need to find out how long it is. Golly.
We'll see, but we're probably going to be doing that next week.
I feel like this is the moment where we accidentally Lulu ourselves again.
Eagle-Eye was born in 1968 to a very musical family. His siblings and or half-siblings are all singers, violinists, jazz musicians, and record producers. One of his half-sisters, I believe, was in the punk band The Slits, briefly. Eagle-Eye was sent to school right here in the Big Apple at the age of 12, where he performed in addition as an actor and drummer in some local bands. He went to the High School for Performing Arts after that in the same class as the future Mr. Chaz Bono and also Jennifer Aniston. Go Wildcats. Seems like he initially wanted to be an actor, but didn't have a ton of luck with that early on. I guess the world was simply not ready for a guy that looked a lot like Eric Andre yet.
God, it does.
Did have an unnamed part in Arthur 2 on the Rocks, which is definitely not on the list of all-time great sequels. He also had minor roles in Born on the 4th of July, The Cosby Show, Oliver Stone's The Doors, and the canceled 2 television program South Beach.
God, he's way older than I thought he was.
Yeah. Then, Garrett, his dad died of liver cancer in Spain. And to answer both you and Gino's question, yes, he is listed on the Wikipedia page Deaths from Hepatitis, which exists for some reason. And yes, both Joseph McCarthy and James Earl Ray are on that list. Also, professional wrestler Bobby Jaggers, whose photo on Wikipedia I urge all of our listeners to look at immediately. Fun James Earl Ray facts, Garrett. He escaped from prison in 1967, moved to Mexico under the name Eric Starvo Galt, where he became a pornography director before moving to LA and taking dance lessons, upon which he became interested and infatuated with the George Wallace presidential campaign and the associated racism, leading to his assassination of MLK. A decade later, he would escape from prison again, although he only made it about 8 miles from the prison.
I had no idea he escaped a second time.
I actually only knew he escaped that second time. Eagle-Eye moved back to Sweden after his dad's death to focus on music and began writing his debut album, which would be released as Desireless in 1997. Featuring the Song of the Week as well as some other deep and meaningful singles like When Mermaids Cry, permanent tears and death defined by will. The title track is also a cover of one of his father's songs.
How do you know when a mermaid's crying? Mermaid tears, you can't see them because they're already wet.
Yes. Now, I won't tell you how well all of that did yet, but it was well enough to get him invited to write and sing on Santana's Supernatural, along with such luminaries as Dave Matthews, CeeLo Green, Everlast, Lauryn Hill, Eric Clapton, and of course, Rob Thomas. Sadly, though, Garrett, that's the end of this guy's success. He released Living in the Present Future in 2000, which was a minor hit in Sweden, but didn't even chart in the US. In 2003, he released Sub Rosa, which only made it to number 40 on the Swedish charts, and again did not chart in the US. It did have a song that was featured in the excellent Disney film Holes, and that was unfortunately the last album that charted even in Sweden. He released Can't Get Enough in 2012. He did get to appear as a musical guest on The Voice of Romania that year, though. He released Streets of You in 2018, Back on Track in 2023, and Become a Light in 2025. This guy, Garrett, is the musical equivalent of our podcast. A tiny bit of early success, still doing it, occasionally getting to be on TV or a movie, dwindling audience.
Yeah, we are the eagle-eye cherry of podcasting. That brings us to the song before we talk about it. Of course, let's give everyone a little taste if you're not already humming it in your head. Here it is, folks. Eagle-Eye Cherries, Save Tonight.
Save tonight. Fight the breakup, dawn come tomorrow.
Catchy.
It's also, in the most 90s way, it's the most mundane of 90s sounds, right? This is that acoustic pop rock, soft rock, flaccid alt rock. This is the thing that like Third Eye Blind and Matchbox 20 were doing on their hits. This is music designed to be sold in a Starbucks. This is music that the characters on Friends probably listen to. It's banal. Like, this is designed to appeal to middle school students, and their mothers are going to listen to this on the way to school and both be okay with it.
Yeah.
He's doing some sort of like vocal affectation. It feels like the Swedish version of that post-grunge like Scott Stapp, like a very light Eddie Vedder voice.
It's a little glottal.
Ben Harper kind of does something like this sometimes.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good analog. Ben Harper. Yeah. And musically, I would say it is very much a Third Eye Blind, but watered down.
Yeah.
Which is not great. Boy, Ben Harper Pop Hits is a great analog to this. It's like a talk sing.
Yeah, think about Ben Harper doing a very faithful rendition of a Hootie and the Blowfish song.
Yeah, it's the Black Jason Mraz.
Yeah.
Listen, so far I've not really heard us say anything that damning. It's just not very, it's just blah.
I feel like lyrically, it's pretending to be deep and meaningful and poetic and kind of like Dylan Thomas-y, right? But this is just a fuckboys fuck anthem.
Yeah, this is one last attempt to get into them pants because I'm going away.
Maybe. I have a different read on it.
Oh, I've got so many reads. The whole discussion today is what direction do we go?
Every one of them.
I'm trying to think if there's anything I actually take issue with in this song. Not particularly. It's just, it's very generic, so I'm not going to get that excited about it.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know, did he write this, or is this a team effort?
He wrote the lyrics and music.
All right, then let me go ahead. I will never write a breakthrough hit single that just appeals to so many people that I tricked them into listening to my entire horrible album.
He also, for this album, wrote Comatose in the Arms of Slumber, Worried Eyes, Rainbow Wings.
Those mermaids are wet to start, so we don't know when those tears come out. Okay, inoffensive acoustic guitar. Lyrically, we'll get into it. I think that's really all that's left here, is let's get into it.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's kick things off. Go on and close the curtains, because all we need is candlelight. You and me, and a bottle of wine, gonna hold you tonight.
And let me stop you right there, Garrett. Candlelight, it seems like all you need, but you just go around your house with only candles. Eventually, you're going to need to light a trash barrel.
I was going to say, listen, folks, currently we are doing this podcast by barrel light, and it's not enough. So you don't want to live on pure candles. That's stub toe city.
Yeah.
So we're closing curtains, Tim, which means it's go time, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, again, this is an anthem about banging.
I'm curious. We've never really talked about it. I'm sure you've witnessed my general behavior. I'm scared of candles, like having them lit in the house. I'm terrified I'm going to burn my house down. Do you have that? You have a lit barrel fire in the house currently, so I guess I'm asking a ridiculous question right now, but does it concern you at all to have open flames in the home?
No, I'll leave with open flames.
Oh my God. See, now, my grandfather was a firefighter, and so one of his favorite things to do was to tell me stories about children being burned alive in their homes and cars due to negligence.
I see where your OCD and your stories about dead children come from.
God, I don't know why he had to laugh so hard.
Your grandfather was a genuinely, and I don't say this lightly, he was a bad man. He was a bad man and he abused my friend.
Are you calling my dad your friend?
No, you.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm a little insulted you didn't get there.
I don't know if you and Fred are friends. I'll ask him.
Well, first of all, yes, we are. We were when I lived in Fort Worth. We did all that ice cream and popcorn stuff.
That is a way to become friends with my dad.
Yeah, and he gave me that tip that if I took my shirt off to eat the ice cream, then I wouldn't ruin my shirt. I still use that tip.
Jesus Christ. All accurate. I hate that. Okay,
yeah.
let's keep going. We know I'm going away, and how I wish it weren't. So take this wine and drink with me, and let's delay our misery. Where is he going, Tim?
Look, the easy answer here is he's going out on tour and wants to bang one last time before he leaves.
That's not even in my list.
That's so crazy. But here's what I think is happening. I think he's trying to break up with this girl, right? He came over and he's, okay, I'm leaving. I'm going away. And like, he's scared to do it because she's crazy. And so he's phrasing it like, listen, I wish it weren't, but listen, I'm going away. We're done here. I'm leaving. And she doesn't understand. She's like, okay, all right, but when are you coming back? She's not getting, and so he's trying to make it more and more obvious. But eventually, like, he's trying to break up with this lady. He goes to his house to do the deed. We all know what that's like. And she was so excited to see him that he's thinking,
Right.
listen, maybe, all right.
We'll have a really nice evening.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to work up the courage to break up with her in the morning. Maybe then I'll be able to be more direct.
I like where your head's at, Tim. Let me see if I can tack something on that really might spice things up, because it didn't seem abundantly clear to me that he was going to go back on tour.
Listen, that's completely fair because at this point when he's writing this song, he wasn't. Maybe he was going to go back to the US to try and be an actor again, but that's not going to happen. That just seems like a fake excuse.
Pilot season, and there's this new show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm going to be Angel, whatever that means. Anyway, here's my take. Same sitch. He's breaking up with her, but he's taking the coward's way out and just lying. So he has to go, but we have to decide, where's he going to go, Tim? Does he say, I have to go to prison? I've killed a man. I'm going to prison. Or perhaps he's made up some sort of international conflict and claims that he's always been Army Reserve this whole time and he's being called to war. Again, all fake. Maybe he has a fake secret family in Tampa Bay and she found out where he was and he's got to go back and deal with that.
That could be.
I really liked the idea of a fake prison sentence.
Yeah.
Because then she's going to drop you off in front of the prison and you got to be like, all right, I'm going in.
The good thing about prison is they're very lenient about who they let. Like, you can just visit prisoners. And they're glad to see you because they're bored and terrified constantly.
And all you got to say is you're their lawyer.
Oh, no.
What do you mean?
I think the move is to say I'm his buddy and I'd like to talk to him. Listen, I'm going to be real honest with you. I do not think you should go to prisons and claim to be a lawyer.
Oh, I think it's okay as long as once the inmate gets there, you're like, I'm obviously not a lawyer. It's just, when you say it out loud, it seems like good advice.
Yeah, I think it's not the prisoner you have to be worried about. I think it's the prison who might be a little testy if you're claiming to be a lawyer.
Tell me this, do you have to have a law degree to practice law?
You do have to pass the bar if you're defending other people.
That's right.
It's not like being a doctor.
Yeah, where you just need a super clean van.
You need a clean white coat.
That's right. Clean coat and a lot of courage.
Yeah.
That brings us to the chorus, Tim. Save tonight and fight the break of dawn. Come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone. Save tonight and fight the break of dawn. Come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone.
It is catchy. And I think he's saying, listen, save tonight because this is the last time you're ever going to see me. So you better savor tonight because this is the last time you're ever going to see me.
You could go with, listen, I have been recruited by the government to fight a secret war against aliens. So you're not going to hear about the war, but I gotta go.
Let me ask you a question before we go on.
I really hope you're not going to ask what I think you're going to ask.
Just to be clear, you're not avoiding me during the day saying that you're going to Central America doing the bad thing and just like hanging out at the movies, right?
Oh.
I'm not getting saved tonight by you.
Oh, wow. You didn't ask what I thought you were, which is definitely, am I part of an organization that's secretly fighting a war against aliens? Which
No.
I'm not,
No,
to be
Garrett.
clear.
Yeah, to be clear, I also know that. And here's the thing, here's the reason I don't think, no, well, okay. I'm just going to move on.
Oh, that when I leave, I don't actually have anywhere to go. I just need to get away from you. That's what you're concerned about?
When that El Salvadorian tattooed man,
Come on.
okay, we'll move on.
Yeah. Now, let me give you an alternate reading, Tim. Save tonight, fight the break of dawn, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone. What if we're in a Groundhog Day situation?
Interesting. Maybe what he's saying, he is in a Groundhog Day, but he feels bad for the other person because essentially they're getting a memory wipe or they're basically dying and being respawned at the beginning of the day. He's the only person there. Yeah, maybe he's saying, listen, save tonight. Today is literally all you have.
Yeah. Or maybe they're trying to work their way out of a Groundhog Day situation. Is you got to try to remember this. I can't keep having to get you up every day. Fight that break of dawn. Just come tomorrow. I'll be gone. There's a log on the fire and it burns like me for you. Tomorrow comes with one desire, to take me away. Oh, it's true. So tomorrow's coming to take him away. So I think we might be in a Groundhog Day situation.
I like that a lot. Gino in my notes has just written flaming dick and
What?
he's asleep.
Do you think it's like maybe it's a translation thing? Like he doesn't understand that it's a metaphor and not a literal flaming penis. What else is in here? It ain't easy to say goodbye. Darling, please don't start to cry. 'Cause girl, you know I've got to go. Chorus again.
I like the fact that he is either claiming to break up with her, he is either claiming to be in some sort of space army or possibly just saying he has to go to prison.
Yep. Let me add something to the mix. Not only does it start over every day, but the trigger to start over is that he's final destinationed off this earth. So he explains all this to her. She starts weeping openly because listen, I'm going to be murdered in some sort of Rube Goldbergian catastrophe. And then tomorrow, I'm going to relive this day in which a completely different, ridiculous series of events will kill me in front of you unless you fight the break of dawn and figure out how to stop this fucking thing.
Adding in Space War, this is basically that Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, if the final destination was always a space monster instead of a Rube Goldbergian contraption.
Yeah.
But I don't want that. What if you're in a time loop with a final destination?
Yeah.
I like it.
I like that a lot too. Yeah, you end every day being murdered horribly.
Okay. Chorus again. Oh, and then we get a guitar solo.
I don't even know. It's listed on Genius Lyrics as instrumental break, and I think that's more accurate than guitar solo.
Yeah, no, for once I have to defer to Genius Lyrics. That is the appropriate way to say that. Alrighty, so after the chorus 2 more times, we get Tomorrow I'll Be Gone 4 times in a row, and then Save Tonight 4 times in a row. Oh, that's right, Save Tonight 4 more times. Tim, that brings us to the music video, and any general hot takes before we walk through it?
Not really. It doesn't really fit the song itself. And by that, I mean it's not softcore pornography.
It's the worst softcore pornography I've ever seen. All right, let's dive into it. Tim, stop me if I miss anything or if we want to add anything to the mix. But this baby's pretty straightforward. It's black and white, of course, so you know it's artistic. We see a gentleman buying something at what I'll say is a department store while we watch through the display window. I think it's supposed to be Eagle Eye. I'm not entirely sure, but as you zoom out, you realize you're looking through the window from the street, and there stands our lead character, who is in fact Eagle Eye. And Tim, confession time. He is dressed shockingly similar to how I dressed like my freshman-ish year of college.
Yes, everyone was dressing this way.
Yeah, like ribbed sweater, leather jacket. I used to have a 3/4 leather duster.
You can hide some stuff in that.
Accurate. Anyway, so Eagle Eye's walking down the street and he's pointing at people like you do. It's ridiculous.
Like
He
Homer
goes into-
Homer Simpson, the mob boss.
Exactly. He walks into a store, eats something off the shelf, which every mom and pop store loves when you do that, before purchasing a bottle of wine. We pan over to the shop owner, and wouldn't you know it, it's the lead singer of the band, aka Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye is there chopping meat, which makes it a very strange store. And then suddenly, Tim, he's held up by a gentleman in a ski mask. Maybe my favorite part of the music video, because as Eagle Eye, as the shop owner, sings directly to camera the chorus, the robber's just in the background taking all the money out of the register and possibly eating some of that cut up meat. Here's the thing that bothers me, though. The entire scene, Eagle Eye's holding what I would deem the biggest cleaver I've ever seen.
Yeah, you should definitely, if you're already holding a cleaver, go ahead and cleave.
The robber wasn't paying any attention. He should have turned around, cut that motherfucker's head off.
Yeah.
And listen, you don't even have to get the head off. A cleaver that size, just lodge that baby anywhere inside of a human head. Fight over.
This is experience. Now, I will also say, in your experience, taking those hands off can be effective too.
People don't realize just how distracting not having one of your hands is.
Yeah.
Let alone both. That's also a fight over situation. The armed robber doesn't get cleaved in the face or have his hands removed. Instead, he runs out of the store only to get hit by a truck. The robber, of course, falls down after having been hit by a truck. Several people run over to help him at first. Then they remove the ski mask to reveal it's Eagle Eye. Once they realize he had been robbing a store, then instead of helping him, they apprehend him.
Sort of. It's an odd apprehension.
It is, but I felt like his arms had been foisted beneath or behind his back, but I'm not certain. Regardless, we slowly pan up from the grill of the truck that just hit this robber to reveal the driver is, Tim, can you guess, Eagle Eye. He's got his dog as a passenger seat like I used to do with my dog Bear, and that made me happy. He then drives away, and we see that behind the truck, Tim, is a street performer, and the lead singer of that street performing band is Eagle Eye. Camera pans past the singer onto the street beneath him, where we see there's a pile of moving papers and debris. Beneath that debris is a homeless man, and it is, of course, Eagle Eye. He is sad because he is out of booze.
We all are.
A lucky bookend to the entire thing. The gentleman who we saw at the beginning of the music video, rocking that sweet leather jacket and ribbed sweater, his is a turtleneck, I'm not a turtleneck man, walks past our homeless man, gives the gentleman some money, and then I don't know if this seemed odd to you, he sings at the camera while walking away backwards. It's very strange, right?
You know, the next time you get in an argument where you turn around and walk backward down the street yelling at a guy, maybe just sing this song and see what happens.
Hey, pal, watch where you're fucking going. Oh, yeah? Should I save tonight? No, you should just watch where you're fucking going and fight the break of dawn. Huh? Listen, I don't know what I'm arguing about anymore. I'm gonna go. Tomorrow I'll be gone. Show that guy.
But again, that's a great way to end and win a fight.
That's true. If you're ever scared to walk down a scary alleyway, all you have to do is run serpentine screaming.
Now, that El Salvadorian man that screamed at me and referred to himself as a demon that I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
He seemed scared when you said in perfect Spanish to him that a demon should recognize when he's in the presence of the devil.
That was a joke we have. That's a running gag we have.
With that specific El Salvadorian man, the one that wanted to attack me.
We're very good friends.
I don't believe this. Okay, all right.
It's best to say none of that ever happened.
It was a great line, though, if it happened. Anyway, Garrett, sadly, this video does not end in this guy going into a house and then, like, closing the curtains while looking all suspicious.
No, that's just the end of it. He just walks down the street, seemingly taunting the camera.
This did pretty good. It hit number 20 in Australia, number 17 on the Austrian E3 chart, number 11 in France, number 18 in Germany, 7 on the Hungarian Mahals chart, number 9 on the Norwegian VG lista, number 4 in Scotland, 2 on the Swedish Sverigetoplisten, 7 on the Swiss Schweizer hit parade, number 1 or maybe number 6 in the UK, where it is certified double platinum, number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 8 on the most important market of all, the Dutch. Save Tonight, though, was awarded the Rockbjörn Award in the Swedish Song of the Year 1997 category. He was also nominated for a Grammy for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance, but lost to Eric Clapton in 1999. Desireless sold 4 million copies worldwide, including more than 1 million copies in the US. Only gold, though, with 40,000 units sold in his native Sweden, though.
Not enough fjord talk.
Maybe
Those
he's
fjords.
lying about being from Sweden to break up with that girl.
I'm pretty sure we nailed it.
Yeah, aliens. Or something.
Wow, 4 million copies is wild.
Yeah. Here, we have a Robert Christgau review for this, so it is time to play the Robert Christgau game. Robert Christgau writes, "Watch out for this mild-mannered simp. Underneath his light croon, refabricated truisms, and avant-garde pedigree, he's got the tunes. The title track, an instrumental with chant composed by his trumpeter dad, points up how flimsy they are. Garrett, what did Robert Christgau think of this album/song?
C-.
It's a B-.
That's not very close.
That's true. There are 116 total ratings on Amazon. 4.8 out of 5 stars on average, 87% 5-star, 2% 1-star. The only one I wrote down is by Deborah Mooney, and this is from 2013. Best song, hands down. Outstanding band that seems to be on the fast track. I can't wait for more music very soon. 5 out of 5 stars, written in 2013, which is a full 16 years after the last thing this guy did that anyone gave a shit about.
Oh my goodness, that is really funny. This band is on the fast track. It's going places, baby. I can't wait to hear the next thing. They've already released the next thing.
Many of them. So I went to YouTube after that. Garrett Demo My Man from 4 years ago said, "Summer of 98, 13 years old. Feels like a whole other world now. I used to be excited for the future. Now I dread it."
Dread it!
Yeah, me too, buddy. Me too. John Zion, 7 months ago, said, "I want this played at my funeral." Which I only write down because I also read the replies to all of these YouTube comments. Sock said, "My mom wants Shaggy. Got her on the bathroom floor for hers. She does not understand the words. She just likes the music." And God, I hope that's true.
It has to be.
That's amazing.
Because that's incredible. Super possible. We have learned time after time songs that you and I have heard 100 times. You just don't pay attention until you start listening to it on repeat. And you're like, wait a minute. What the fuck are they talking about? It's crazy. Now, granted, that one's a terrible example because it is obviously about cheating and having sex on the bathroom floor.
Yeah. Drizzy Jake 1 year ago, and this I think you're going to find very amusing. "My dad used to play this song to me before he would go to jail when I was a little kid. And then he passed away yesterday. And now the song hits different. Rest in peace, Dad. I love you."
Yeah, this guy's eagle-eyed sharing. He's asking this kid to save tonight.
Yeah, and he said he used to play this song before he went to jail when I was a little kid. That implies that this guy is getting arrested for like lots of petty crimes or not so petty crimes, doing a whole like early life Snoop Dogg and like having to go to jail for like months at a time. And every time he does, the implication is that it was not once.
And which does create the scenario where like time number 3 or 4, he's like, "Hey, Jonathan, can you come in here for a minute, young man? I need to talk to you." Walks in the room and hears, "Save tonight." "No, Daddy. Come on now. Come on now. Don't cry now.
Sing it with me.
Fight the breakup."
Oh, this song would have been better in that accent.
God, it really would be a pretty solid country cover.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the token cover we need for our country rap hit album, Texas Toast, Toasted Buns.
I like that. Storm Sigma, 9 years ago. "Man, this song brings bittersweet memories. A good friend at the time would come to my house parties and sing this song, and we'd all sing along. Then he got married to a woman that hated me and all of his other friends, and they moved away and I never saw him again."
What a wild turn that took.
I love the idea that because his friend sounds like the asshole in this scenario,
I think so.
Right?
It seems like you wouldn't want to commemorate that event.
No. One more here. This is by Harlot Lily 2 months ago. 23 years ago, I danced to this song with a sailor boy and fell in love. We had a short but intense relation, and then he drifted away over to the seas. I married somebody else and got children, but I still can't hear this song without remembering the days we had together. He was the love of my life.
Jesus Christ, don't let her husband see that. What do you mean he was the love of your life? It's just an expression. Yeah, but we got kids, as she put it. I got married and I got kids. I have some news. I've got kids.
And now you have them too. You should get yourself checked.
Fascinating. Who is this for?
This is obviously for Lily's husband. Your wife, sir, is in love with another dude, a sailor, the horniest type of military man. She is on YouTube right now imagining his silly hat and his weird forearms.
I don't know how many times I have to remind you that Popeye is not anatomically accurate.
I didn't say he was.
The modern Navy is far less rope-oriented than it once was.
I don't think that's true.
How are you going to keep those boats from floating away?
How are you going to keep those forearms in such good shape?
Okay,
not tying.
Focusing on different things. Final thoughts, Tim. We've been all the way through it. I feel like we've been tremendously kind to Mr. Cherry this week.
I think another important thing to being a sailor and the knot tying is to keep those hands busy while you're at sea so you don't sin.
About the song. Anything
there,
else more to say about the song?
No. I think he looks like Eric Andre.
Yeah,
he also looks like that guy Andrew that walks dogs in our neighborhood.
Yes, he does look like Andrew. Nice guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
hey, do you think it's Eagle-Eyed Cherry?
I don't.
I'm going to scream Eagle Eye at him next time I see him.
I'm going to scream Andrew at Eagle-Eyed Cherry the next time I see him.
Yeah, I'll tell you how my guy reacts. We'll see how your guy reacts. Tim, do you hate this song?
No, but I don't think it's the romantic ditty that everyone seems to think it is.
No, I think it's a secret breakup song for a coward.
Yes. Do you hate this song?
Heavens no. Alrighty, Timmy, that brings us to listener mail. Would you like to go first or should I?
I would like to go first this week. I have two things, really, because my Gmail has begun doing AI overviews. And I would like to read the AI overview of this email either before or after I read the email. I'll let you pick which way.
Before.
Arthur confirmed the successful capture of Garrett using a glue trap, not the planned propofol aerosol. Arthur is currently subjecting Garrett to the Ludovico technique via constant exposure to the song Broken. Arthur is feeding Garrett pomegranate seeds through his tracheotomy hole and awaits satisfaction from Tim. Arthur noted the imposter's identity is unknown and expressed surprise that Tim read the email. Garrett, so much water was used to compose that nonsense.
Yeah, that's a real shame. I'm glad it's not me.
Yeah, because he gave him a tracheotomy, it seems. Anyway, this is the email. Tim, my darling, oh sweet Timmy Boo. That is not Garrett. With a fantabulous Tom B. Rady, the execution of Garrett's takening has been a rousing success. Having successfully weaponized and aerosolized propofol per official cowboy doctrine, and in preparation for Garrett's anticipated flighty resistance, I put my plan into motion, setting my devilish traps throughout this fair city. Surprisingly, the glue trap proved to be the most effective. To my absolute delight, the man-beast incapacitated himself, consuming thick, salty rat glue along with just the loosest of beef. He suffocated himself into unconsciousness prior to an emergency tracheotomy performed in my totally inconspicuous Prius, no propofol required.
I listen, in the interest of transparency, full disclosure, that happened. That did happen. But he didn't get me. Was I unconscious for several hours? Did I get stuck in a glue trap that was filled with loose meat? Yes.
The email continues. Yippee! When he awoke and, heavily restrained to my Japanese futon, began firing expletives and threats in my direction through his open neck hole, I was delighted to finally discern his true accent. Such a filthy mouth on this one. To put you and the listener at ease, Garrett is safe. If one considers prolonged day and night T to B subjugation via the Ludovico technique to be, quote-unquote, safe. It only took a single day of constant exposure for the man-beast to sob the lyrics of Seether and Amy Lee is broken entirely at my behest, though it's mostly a hum and whistle until his most troublesome of fluids dissolve the remaining rat glue. And if you're wondering how I'm keeping the man-beast nourished through his trials, fear not. His feedings have become a favorite pastime of mine, plopping pomegranate gems one by one into his tender neck, into his tender neck hole while making delightful air for this.
I'm going to just suggest the hold music for a good portion of the back half of this.
Fair enough. You should see his face light up when I come singing and dancing around the corner asking who's ready for some throat berries. I await my satisfaction. His name is Arthur. P.S. The imposter's identity is unknown to me. He was not a part of my plan. Can you truly not tell the difference between heavy plastic surgery and gravity injuries? P.P.S. Out of character. I couldn't believe you read my email. I was on a full series re-listen and didn't get to your now classic Pitbull episode until today, and I froze a statue when you said my name, probably because we were outing him. Top 1% listener, BTW, 21,669 minutes in 2025. Love you, boys. Stop. Listen, give it a couple months, a break.
This isn't healthy.
Yeah. You're kidnapping
You're doing
people.
it more than we are.
Absolutely he is. That's creepy.
Yeah. And you've kidnapped one of my many replicants.
Now, I noticed you called him a replicant instead of...
I regret that.
Moving right along, Garrett, do you have the exact same email I have?
No, mine's from a different person.
Okay.
My email's from Noah. It is titled, Fun and Gautier Couldn't Mend a Broken Heart. Noah writes, I'll keep this short-ish. As a sophomore in high school, I had a Garrett-esque crush on a girl who was my best friend.
Love it.
Okay. She had a boyfriend 2 grades ahead of us, but when she was ready to start emotionally cheating on him with me, I was more than happy to oblige. Nicely done, Noah. I have been in that position. Things ran their course, talking all night while I chugged the only booze in my parents' house. Eventually, the boyfriend had enough and broke up with her. Well done, Noah. You're on your path. Email continues. That day, we had plans to hang out with our friend group. As we sat around comforting her, I ended up in control of the aux cable. I proceeded to DJ up to fresh release tracks, It Gets Better, and Carry On, along with choice Gautier album cuts like I Feel Better. Our affair never turned into a real relationship, but that summer I did help throw her a birthday party where she brought her new boyfriend. Anyway, this is what the terrible album Some Nights make me think of. That Gautier album kinda kicks ass though, especially State of the Art. Feel free to read this or not. I know it's long and not that interesting. I cut out the details that made it just plain sad. Thanks for all the laughs and sorry I never made you another song to play on the podcast. Maybe someday. Or some nights. Hugs and kisses, Noah. Excellent email, Noah. Listen, this could have been ripped from the headlines of my life. I can't tell you how many women I was the best friend of and then remained that way and got to meet their new boyfriend.
Yeah, you were a gross little boy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, my hygiene wasn't the best. What did you mean? I do have a second email. It's a single sentence. It says, I watched y'all's episode on 1,000 gecs and thought you should go and check out some new and improved gecs. 10,000 gecs.
That's too many gecs.
Tim, I think we need to do it. At some point, we got to do these gecs.
We'll do it next week.
So that brings us to music news. Should you go first? Should you go first or dare I?
Go first.
Alrighty, Timmy. In an update to a story we previously began reporting upon, federal prosecutors are urging a judge to deny Lil Durk's request to bar his lyrics, music videos, and related imagery from being used as evidence as his upcoming federal murder-for-hire trial, pushing back against claims that the material would unfairly prejudice a jury.
Because he describes the specific crimes in detail that was not released to the public?
There's a lot of talk about revenge and murder for hire.
Yeah.
Dirk-born Dirk Devontae Banks is accused of orchestrating a bounty on rap rival Quando Rondo that allegedly culminated in the 2022 shooting in Los Angeles that killed Rondo's cousin. According to court documents, several of Dirk's lyrics are alleged to reference the underlying violence and his purported involvement in funding or directing acts against his rivals. Among the material cited is Dirk's opening lines from his appearance on Nardo Wick's Who Wants Smoke remix. It's a tough line, right? Because on the one hand, I understand the request of the prosecution. Hey, there's all those songs where you said I was going to murder this guy and then you murdered that guy. On the other hand, it's a song.
Yeah, and I don't think that, like, if you put out something into the world saying you're going to commit a crime and then that crime happens, you should necessarily, I feel like you maybe use that basic instinct excuse, right? Would I have done this and then, would I have written about this or sung about this and then done it? Am I that stupid? Yes.
And then you show them your vagina.
Yes.
What if you don't have a vagina, Tim? I know, I don't know. Listeners, write in, hatePodMail@gmail.com. What do you do if you don't have a vagina?
In general or in reference to this specific situation?
Don't be ridiculous.
Fair enough.
Did you get some news this week, Tim?
I actually did this week, Garrett, and I want to watch the Turning Point USA weird alternative to the Super Bowl halftime show news. The Turning Point USA weird alternative to the Super Bowl halftime show lineup has been announced, and it is weak. Apparently, Nicki Minaj was too busy or thought this was beneath her or thought this was just gross after her weird hard right turn. But as counter-programming to Bad Bunny, they got season 16 of American Idol's second runner-up, Gabby Barrett, country guys Brantley Gilbert and Lee Bryce, both of whom Wikipedia assures me are in fact real people, and they've been performing country music for about 15 to 20 years each. And of course, Kid Rock, who is, and this is true, not a cowboy baby. Pete Hegseth tweeted, "Hey, at TPUSA, how can at Department of War get in on this?" American flag emoji. Genuinely unclear as to what that could possibly mean. Does he plan to set them on fire from above, Garrett?
What is he offering?
I want to watch whatever that is somehow without supporting it. I really miss the days of unfettered torrenting, allegedly.
God, I just miss the days where the government was incredibly boring. Like, I don't need the Department of Defense tweeting at Turning Point. I don't need them tweeting. Go to work.
Yeah, it really disappoints me because I've had a long-standing rule when I read news articles. If they in any way report what people tweet, I just completely discount that. I stop reading it and I discount that. If it's just, here's what people are saying about, just don't care, that's not a news story anymore. The problem is, it's now relevant, and I blame AI and social media. That's what I would destroy.
It's where I'd start. It's not where I'd stop.
Oh, dear. Garrett, do you have more news?
Tim, in what can only be described as Kiss levels of selling out, Metallica recently announced that they are releasing a new collab, or as you like to say, collabo, with Doc Martens. They have teamed up for 2 new limited edition designs, as they're calling it, and both are available as of the release of this episode. The boots are priced at $200 a pair, are soulless, and are as ugly as you would possibly imagine them to be. Get yours now.
What do you mean soulless?
Not, I see how that would be
metaphorically?
Okay. Yeah, like they're just like, we put skulls on it, and it says Metallica. Enjoy.
I think anytime a band does one of these product placements, Metallica designed your boots, you should have to be reciprocal. If you design Doc Marten boots and they release them, then Doc Martens gets to write and perform a Metallica song that you have to release. Right? Your art should have to reflect your values in that way.
That would be incredible. Leather stitching. Tim, did you ever own Doc Martens?
Nope.
Oh, I did.
Were they comfy?
Did. Oh, yeah, I actually liked them quite a bit. Wore them with my Jinkos, and then when those were taken away, I wore them with my homemade Jinkos.
God damn it. We really need to post a photo of you in like 10th grade to just, because Garrett, the people need to know when they're picturing you as a slightly less bearded version of what you look like today. Maybe like just a mustache, maybe just a soul patch. I don't know what they're picturing. But they're wrong.
It's not that. Yeah.
It's not that. It's so much better.
It's so embarrassing.
I really think we should post that, Garrett.
It's like a tween-sized fetus.
It's the kind of boy you could bully, and like society, even today, would be like, yeah, that was justified.
Yeah. My head was too big. My face was too small. My body was way too small.
And you had that smirk.
Yeah, it's weird to want to punch a 9-year-old.
No, I wanted to. You were not 9.
No, that picture I showed you was 9th grade, I think.
God, let's post it.
Absolutely not. I'll post it, and then I'll post like a shirtless photo with it of me now.
What we do, we post that, and then we post the photo of you post-bike accident. That's the perfect transition.
It's exactly what you would imagine that little serial killer to look like.
Yeah.
My face was smashed to shit. Alrighty, Tim, other news you might have? Go.
Kiss news, Garrett. Kiss's Vinnie Vincent recently recorded an album called Judgment Day Guitarmageddon. But he's only going to sell it to you one song at a time as a $200 individually signed to number CD, which will only be released if there are 1,000 or more pre-sales. The album contains 18 songs, so buying it would cost $3,600 plus shipping. That is not included, which I guess he wants 1,000 of it. So he wants $3.6 million plus shipping for his album, Judgment Day Guitarmageddon. Now, he told Rolling Stone that each single is worth more than most entire albums. People seem to get really pissed off online, and Vivi responded by saying that he is fine with never releasing the music if not enough people pay for it, to which I say, agreed.
Yeah, he's not going to get enough.
No, of course not. What 1,000 people want Vinnie Vincent's 2025 album, maybe 2026, Judgment Day Guitarmageddon?
It's a great name.
We should buy a copy.
I've been thinking about what to name the Texas Toast album ever since we brought it up earlier. I'm thinking Hot Buttered Crust.
Oh, that has a nice ring to it. That's the best kind of name. It's something that's got a little entendre in there, but
not one you could describe to anyone.
Yeah,
sure, but if someone was like, what's a euphemism for? You'd be like, oh, the crust is like but it's like hot and buttered. It's not a euphemism. It's a description of bread.
Yeah, but it sounds sexual. Garrett.
It sounds sexy.
Do you have any other news?
No, you took my third story.
Okay. In Dee Wawa news, our girl Diane Warren, whomst I, or at least my character, attempted to woo for years, has lost yet another award. At the Grammys this past weekend, she was nominated for Best Music Film for the documentary Diane Warren Relentless, presumably about how she relentlessly writes love songs despite never having known love herself, which I now know is intentional because obviously, and I believe she does this so she can write about her subject without bias or undue emotion. Interestingly, she was first nominated for a Grammy for her work on the Ghostbusters soundtrack in 1984. She is up for the 17th, by my count, time for an Oscar this year for the song Dear Me, also from Relentless. So we anxiously await those results. From what I can tell, she wins about a quarter of the awards she is nominated for, but not if you're counting major awards.
I was going to say, none of them are Oscars.
Absolutely not. She has a perfect 34-0 on the ASCAP Film and Television Music Awards, though, and I think those are just as good.
Keep telling yourself that. Stop pointing at your ASCAP awards. Nobody cares.
Just as good.
Next, you're going to start pointing at your Ink Spot awards or whatever you get for the comic books you draw. Nobody cares, Tim. Or excuse me, you write. You don't draw them. You write them.
No, I don't draw.
I've seen you do art.
Mm-hmm. But I don't do it. I'm more of a letters man.
Yeah. That brings us to the part of the show where we wheel out our giant bingo roller and we select a ping pong ball from the hopper. Tim, what album will we be listening to for an entire 2 weeks straight?
And to be clear, we're not putting that Allen Ginsberg sings Tales of the Red Dragon or whatever in the hopper.
Not this week.
Fair enough, Garrett. Let me run the hopper. Ooh, Clay Aiken's Measure of a Man.
I don't know enough about Clay Aiken to know if that's a real recent album or his hit debut.
It can't possibly be recent. Eagle Eye Cherry is still making albums, so Clay Aiken almost certainly is.
Tim, 2024 brought us Eyegasms.
Yeah, that's true.
Eyegasms.
That was a good album.
Allegedly. Alrighty, Tim, do you know anything about Clay Aiken?
I know he was an American Idolist. I know he's got great frosted tips.
I think he just has red hair.
I've never seen his hair.
I've never seen his face. I think there's a chance I saw that season of American Idol. I saw the very first season, and then I saw one other one. It might have been that one. Tough to say. If it was the one with Ruben Studdard, then I definitely saw it.
I also don't know who that is.
It's a large gentleman who I think might have beaten Clay Aiken, or maybe Clay Aiken won. You need to sound excited.
I am excited, Garrett. I think this one is going to be our best one yet.
Are you mocking me or are you just bad at it?
No,
Bad at it. Got it. Okay. Folks, that's the end of the show because Tim and I need to go have a long talk. But you can write in, hatePodMail@gmail.com, and we want to hear from you. You heard some excellent emails this week, some bizarre AI summations of an email, and we edited out part of an email because it was deeply upsetting. That's the kind of stuff we're looking for in hatePodMail@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram. That's HatePod. Twitter's album, HatePod. I'm G Harvey Tweets. We got Discord servers, subreddits, and all the other ways you could find somebody on the internet. We have. Other than, of course, TikTok, the most popular single application on planet Earth right now. Although I think that's changing. For this week, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy P. Richardson, the voice of this and every generation.
Every? Even the ones to come.
Even the ones far gone.
You're the Mongolians. You're their voice.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Gary.